presented we will have to consult them in terms of the date of that presentation.
Prospect 2019.
A little to life.
All ties with your political associates. Chief Justice of Nigeria cautions judges.
Matter will not be on the basis that in the whole of this country, the EFCC is helpless.
Courtroom, EFCC pushes for accelerated hearing. Good evening. This is NTA Next News, reaching you live from the corporate headquarters in Abuja, Nigeria. I am Kene Ema Abodike. Reading with me is Ruth Ario Samuel in Lagos. Thanks for joining us. The 2019 Appropriation Bill is now ready for presentation to the National Assembly by President Muhammadu Buhari. This followed the approval of the general principles of the bill by the Federal Executive Council. State House correspondent Adamu Sambu has the details.
This is a special session of the Federal Executive Council. It was summoned by President Muhammadu Buhari to finalize work on Nigeria's 2019 budget. And for over 2.5 hours, members of the council thoroughly analyzed the provisions of the draft appropriation bill through a memo presented by the Minister of Budget and National Planning, Udoma Udoma. Questions, observations, and suggestions were taken from participants, after which adjustments were made on the financial document.
The 2019 executive budget proposals were approved by the Federal Executive Council today, and they will be presented to the National Assembly. We will have to consult them in terms of the date of that presentation. We are hoping as soon as possible we will be in touch with the National Assembly because you know that they have to agree to the dates that they would receive the budget. So we're going to be in touch with them immediately.
The medium-term expenditure framework and fiscal strategy paper approved by the Council in October this year projects 8.73 trillion naira as the budget size for the year 2019. The amount is about 400 billion naira less than the 9.12 trillion naira revised 2018 budget. The 2019 budget is predicated on a proposed oil price benchmark of $60 per barrel, oil production of 2.3 million barrels per day, exchange rate of 305 naira to a dollar, and GDP growth rate of 3.01%. In the meantime, President Muhammadu Buhari has signed into law the National Open University of Nigeria Amendment Act 2018. This allows the institution to operate as all other universities, having the same powers, functions, and administrative structures, thereby eliminating possible discrimination on its products and programs. Senior Special Assistant to the President on National Assembly Matters, Senator Ita Enang, who disclosed this, however, told newsmen that the Electoral Act Amendment Bill 2018 has not been assented to.
The President has taken decision in accordance with the powers vested in him under the Constitution, and by convention, that decision contained in the communication can only be revealed by the person to whom that decision is addressed. But the electoral bill has left Mr. President because he has taken his decision and has remitted it back.
It will be recalled that members of the political class in Nigeria are divided on whether or not President Muhammadu Buhari should assent to the new Electoral Act as 2019 elections draw closer. From the State House, Adamu Sambu, NTA News.
President Muhammadu Buhari has directed the Ministry of Mines and Steel Development to work towards putting an end to undue interference by some state governments over mining so that the renewed drive for economic diversification can be enhanced for sustainable growth and development of the country. The President gave the directive shortly after his conferment as the life patron of Miners Association of Nigeria by 8 members. State House correspondent Adamu Sambo again has the report.
President Muhammadu Buhari's confirming as life patron of the Miners Association of Nigeria was in appreciation of the sense of hope, direction, fulfillment and credibility restored in the mining sector by his administration through the economic diversification agenda. President of the Miners Association of Nigeria, Sani Shehu, also presented the minerals chart box to the Nigerian leader. He said with the enabling environment now created, Nigeria has recovered her prime position in mining jurisdictions in the world, and already foreign partners from China, India, Australia and Canada are now in the country actively participating in the exploration and mining of solid minerals.
Mr. President, I need your permission to make a declaration that from today, the Miners Association of Nigeria, in collaboration with security and relevant government agencies, will do its best to see that mining is done right and illegal exports of mineral resources that is a big minus to the revenue generation of this country stopped.
President Muhammadu Buhari, who thanked the Miners Association for the honor done to him, promised to sustain efforts at unlocking the economic potentials of the solid minerals subsector of the country. Consequently, issues impeding mining operations will be addressed and miners are to be encouraged by government so that the sector can be rejuvenated to become the future mainstay of the nation's economy.
The interest of the federal government really is employment, which with the big population we have, and the revenue, which we need very badly in diversifying the economy of the country. So we will encourage you to invest more, to attract more foreign investors in bringing technology and equipment to bear on the industry.
Minister of State for Mines and Steel Development, Abubakar Bawabari, who accompanied the miners to the State House, takes pride in the major achievements recorded in the mining sector under the Buhari presidency.
We will be, on the 13th of this month, do the groundbreaking of the first mining refinery that we've given permission to. And also on the 18th, be inviting Mr. President to launch the first ever gold purchasing program. The pilot project is starting in KB and all arrangements have been put in place. A lot of things, Mr. President, are happening around 44 minerals.
Your coming has given hope to Nigerians, and we believe that whatever you do, this country will be the best for it. And as such, we will definitely support your efforts in diversifying the economy of this country from the oil sector to other sectors.
During the event, the miners lament the undue interference by some state governors in their operations, thereby making mining difficult, and made a case for what they call a real sector support facility, as well as anchor borrowers program for mining by the Central Bank of Nigeria. They also appealed for fiscal policy in the mining sector to avoid the multiple taxation being experienced by miners. From the State House, Adamu Sambo, NTA News.
Vice President Yemi Osinbajo has assured traders and artisans in Kwara State that the federal government will continue to encourage them to grow bigger in their businesses. He gave the assurance when he paid a visit to a Bata market in Ilorin, the Kwara State capital, to assess how the trader money scheme will be executed and to ensure that all traders get the money. Correspondent Kemi BC Sani reports that the Vice President also paid homage to the Emir of Ilorin, Alhaji Zulu Gambari, after launching the scheme.
The Vice President, Yemi Osinbajo, who interacted with the traders, urged them to be patient with the federal government as it was not relenting in its effort to improve their lot through its enterprise and empowerment scheme. He said the scheme has already been launched in more than 25 states with 2 million traders targeted nationwide, while encouraging them to get involved. Oshibajo said this is the first time the federal government is involving the very bottom of Nigeria's economic pyramid for direct financial stimulus aimed at creating wealth within the informal sector of the economy. The traders in the market expressed gratitude to the federal government for the gesture. Vice President Oshibajo, who commended the Emir of Ilorin, Alhaji Ibrahim Sulu Gambari, for upholding peace in his domain, said the federal government is proud of him.
We are very glad all the time that Kwara State remains a place of peace, a place where people can pursue their businesses, pursue their beliefs without any fear. And I think that this is a very, very good thing. This state remains one of the most peaceful.
The Emir thanked the Vice President for the visit and therefore urged the beneficiaries to make good use of the money.
I believe that he has not failed because may God continue to help your government and your parties.
The Vice President was in Ilorin, Kwara State for a one-day working visit to inaugurate the trader money scheme. Kemi Bisisoni, NTA News.
A federal high court sitting in Jalingo has directed the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission to arraign the Taraba State governorship candidate of the All Progressives Congress, Sani Abubakar Danladi, before it by next sitting, or it will dismiss the case against him and other persons before the court. Justice Stephen Pam gave the ruling following the inability of the prosecuting agent to arraign the defendant before it for the second time. Joseph Olsen reports.
The former acting governor of Taraba State and the State All Progressives Congress APC governorship candidate for the 2019 general election, Sani Abubakar Danladi, former Minister of Labour and Productivity, Joel Danlami Ikenya, and member representing Takun 2 State constituency, Mark Useni, are to be arraigned by EFCC before the Federal High Court in Jalingo for conspiring and receiving money amounting to 450 million naira without proper banking transactions. For the second sitting, 2 of the defendants, Joel Ikenya and Mark Useni, appeared before the court, but Sani Abubakar Danladi was again absent. Counsel to EFCC, Israel Akande, told the court that the investigation team is having trouble locating the third defendant and prayed the court to direct his counsel to serve him with the charges and present him in court. Justice Stephen Pam ruled that EFCC should live up to its responsibility and arraign all the defendants before it by next sitting.
The court has adjourned the matter to when? To 15th January.
And the matter will not be heard on the basis that the EFCC is unable to serve the third defendant and produce him to court. We feel that the court should discharge the charge so that when they are ready, they should come back.
Meanwhile, a cross-section of youth gathered themselves outside the court gate with placards demanding for justice. In Jalingo, Joseph Sound Oten, NTA News.
The former chairman of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, Malam Nuhu Ribadu, has won the 2018 Sheikh Tamim bin Hamad Al Thani Anti-Corruption Excellence Award in Malaysia. Nuhu Ribadu is a joint winner in a Lifetime Outstanding Award category for what the organizers described as his high-level commitment and exemplary values and virtues in fighting corruption. The annual award, organized by the Rule of Law and Anti-Corruption Center in Qatar since 2015, is to facilitate the achievement of goal number 16 of the Sustainable Development Goals to promote good governance by fighting corruption. The award globally recognizes organizations and individuals that dedicated themselves to combat corruption. Now, Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Boss Mustafa, is among 6 notable chief executive officers of ministries, departments and agencies who have received Servicom Award of Excellence for supportive roles to Servicom and for ensuring effective service delivery in their organizations. Fatima Aliyu tells us more.
Servicom End of the Year Award seeks to create a healthy competition in service delivery among government ministries, departments and agencies, and to celebrate those who have excelled in their services in line with the promises in their service charters.
Reflect on what we have done for the year, what has worked well, what has not worked too well, what we can improve on come 2019.
The award, which came in different categories, had Chairman of EFCC Ibrahim Mongo, his counterpart at the FRSC and the Nigeria Immigration Service, as well as Ahmed Issa of Brekete family, were among the best supportive chief executive officers. While overall best performing nodal officer of the year went to Egbele Okoye of the Federal Airport Authority of Nigeria for ingenuity, hard work and doggedness in raising the Servicom unit of our organization to the next level.
We want to dedicate this award to all of you on the field that make us look good.
The meeting also afforded the nodal officers drawn from 36 states of the Federation an opportunity to strategize on how to gain the confidence of Nigerians in various MDAs in the following year and beyond. Fatima Aliyu, NTA News.
Let's now take some messages. Don't go away.
You know, from day one, Globe makes life easier. They brought us per second billing, unbelievable data packages, and even an optic fiber cable to make sure we optimize. There are two things in our lives we depend on: the communication and information, voice and data. Whether you sell, buy, learn, teach, serve, or lead, it really comes out those two things: voice or data. Today's world is all about you. You want what you want, how you want it, and Glow delivers. The freedom to use voice and data the way you like on every recharge. Easy.
Glow Yakata. Recharge 100 Naira and get 2,200 Naira. Minimum 500 Naira to call all networks and 10 friends and family. Plus all the data you need. Up to 6 gigabytes. Buy a Glow SIM or dial *220# to migrate. Glow, Grandmasters of Data.
The Independent Corrupt Practices and Other Related Offences Commission, ICPC, through its training arm, the Anti-Corruption Academy of Nigeria, is conducting a corruption risk assessment training for the leadership of the national anti-corruption agencies of African Union countries from 10th to 12th December 2018. The event will be declared open by President Muhammadu Buhari. Venue, State House Conference Center, Old Banquet Hall. Time 10 a.m. Guests are to be seated by 9:15 a.m. Dr. Musa Usman Abubakar, Acting Chairman, Announcer. Nigeria Christian Pilgrim Commission invites you to the 2018 main pilgrimage flag-off ceremony. Date, Saturday, 8 December 2018. Venue, Victor Atta International Airport, Uyo, Akwa Ibom State. Time, 4 p.m. Special guest of honor, His Excellency Professor Yemi Osinbajo, Vice President. Special guests, Udom Emmanuel, Executive Governor, Akwa Ibom State. Distinguished guests, Right Honorable Simon Lalong, Executive Governor, Plateau State. Chief Host, Reverend Yomi Kasali, Chairman, NCPC. NCPC, Proclaiming Christ, Serving Nigeria. Ujato Uja, Executive Secretary, Announcer.
Nigeria now still one of the few countries in number of pregnant women still they die from things we're not supposed to kill them high pass. Thank God for things like family planning or childbirth spacing, where they help reduce number of women where they die because of say they carry belle. When we plan and put space between the times we they carry belle, our mama and pikin them no go they die anyhow. If all the women we need within the fit use they control how they take get belle, what you they call contraceptives, don't go fit prevent the death of about 1.5 million pikin them and 31,000 women inside the next 10 years. Our leaders una need to settle this matter by making sure say family planning services reach every woman inside we country. No woman supposed suffer or die because she want born pikin. We must join hand and get it together, make our future for bright. Now, Federal Ministry of Health, they bring on this message.
The National Working Committee of the All Progressives Congress has approved the formation of a National Peace and Reconciliation Committee for all 6 geopolitical zones to address post-primary election disputes. Consequently, National Chairman of the APC, Comrade Adams Oshiomhole, has approved appointments for the South-South Zone. Composition of the committee is as follows. His Excellency Ogbeni Rauf Aregbesola, Chairman, Senator Abubakar Atiku Bagudu, Alhaji Abubakar Sani Bello, Sullivan Shime, Senator Gbemi Saraki, Dr. Emeka Wogu, Mrs. Aleluchi Kukigam. Meetings with aggrieved members will be held in the following states: Edo, Monday 10th December, 4 p.m. at Benin Government House. Akwa Ibom, Tuesday 11th, 10 a.m. at the Le Meridian, Uyo. Cross River, Tuesday 11th, 2 p.m. at the Transcorp Metropolitan, Calabar. Delta, Wednesday 12th, 10 a.m. Grand Hotel, Asaba. Rivers, Thursday 13th, 10 a.m. Atrium Event Center Stadium Road, Port Harcourt. Bayelsa, Thursday 13th, 2 p.m. Atrium Event Center Stadium Road, Port Harcourt. Barrister Ataru Machido Durumbungwandu, Committee Secretary, Announcer.
The Ohi Etohuyi of Igbira land, Dr. A. Tom Adaba, cordially invites all to the public presentation of his personal memoir, But for God, under the distinguished chairmanship of Ambassador Professor Ibrahim Agbola-Gambari. Date, December 8, 2018. Time 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. Venue, National Universities Commission Auditorium, Aguiyi-Ironsi Street, Maitama District, Abuja. For details, please call Margaret A. Soime, 0803-304-9772 or Onimisi J. Adaba, 0803-312-0944. Organizing Committee, Announcer.
The Advertising Practitioners Council of Nigeria, APCON, in partnership with Brandmac Communications Limited, invites chief executives, heads and staff of media and communications department of government institutions all over the country to the first ever Nigerian Public Sector Branding Summit holding in Abuja.
Theme: Branding Approach, a tool for enhancing public sector objectives.
Chief host Alhaji Lai Mohammed, Minister for Information and Culture.
There will be keynote presentations and panel discussions from notable brand experts, peer review opportunities and networking at the one-day summit.
Date is Tuesday 11th of December 2018. Venue is Shehu Musa Yadwa Center, Central Business District, Abuja. Time is 9 a.m. prompt.
For further information, please call 0803-314-5691, 0803-590-0078.
Nigeria Public Sector Branded Summit, promoting a culture of excellence in government institutions. Announcer, Mrs. Ijeli Yor, Acting Registrar, Chief Executive Officer, Advertising Practitioners Council of Nigeria, APCON.
Barrister Bola Kale Yusuf, the Baale of Bodesadu. I like to use this opportunity to thank the federal government, especially apart from all other novel programs that has reached the grassroots people. I want to thank them for the National Household Cash Transfer Scheme. For the first time, probably in the political history of Nigeria, it has never happened that people who are in hamlets, I'm talking about Manda, Salanga, Lasaki, Ajegunle, Ajia, Elemere, all these are inner villages that ordinarily government policy don't ever get to them, not to talk of a direct intervention in their financial well-being. I commend this project and I wish that it goes on because it is touching the people that actually need government attention.
Welcome back. President Muhammadu Buhari rejoices with President of Nigeria Labour Congress, NLC, Comrade Ayuba Philibus Waba, on his election as President of the International Trade Union Confederation, ITUC, the largest trade union federation in the world. In a statement signed by Special Advisor to the President on Media and Publicity, the President joins members of the NLC and all Nigerian workers in celebrating the election, which further signals the great work the union has been doing in ensuring the welfare of workers. As the first African to head the ITUC, President Buhari believes the Labour leader will bring his wealth of experience in persuasion and negotiation to the new position, assuring him of the federal government's support. The President wishes the NLC President a successful tenure. Now turning to security matters, where the Nigerian Air Force says it will not relent on its aggressive capacity building of personnel for enhanced professionalism in line with President Muhammadu Buhari's directive of restoring lasting peace in the country. Chief of the Air Staff, Air Marshal Sadiq Abubakar, reaffirmed this at the graduation ceremony of Basic Regimental Officers and Airmen course at the Regiment's Training Center in Kaduna State. Defense correspondent Olajide Bello reports.
These graduates display combat proficiency in force protection in complex air and ground environment, combat evacuation, and effective response by regiment personnel in crisis situations. this is part of a deliberate policy to train personnel of Regiment Air Police and Intelligence Special Forces for complementary roles in base defense architecture.
On our part, we will continue to support the federal government's policies and continue to conduct operations ranging from humanitarian services, peace enforcement, to counter-insurgency operations in furtherance of our national security and developmental objectives.
We've endeavoured to give you the tools to counter the threats the Nigerian Air Force bases and assets face.
The Nigerian Air Force is citing present administration support as motivation that has boosted the desire of becoming the best in the sub-region, which informs the new platforms, equipment and specialized training. From the Regiment Training Center in Kaduna, Olajide Bello, NTA News.
It is the position of the Nigerian Police Force that both appointment and confirmation of the Inspector General of Police be a unilateral power of the President. This formed part of suggestions at the public hearing on a bill to repeal the act establishing the police force. National Assembly correspondent Abdullahi Aminu tells us more.
The bill, which seeks to repeal the Police Act 2004 and enact the Police Act 2018, has brought together stakeholders from all walks of life. The aim is to improve the performance of the force, considering increase in population, high rate of criminal activities, and the need to ensure modern techniques of policing in the country.
It is therefore suggested that the requirement for confirmation of the appointment of the removal of the Inspector General of Police be expunged from the bill, as to make the police less professional in its operation.
Every policeman has to be in the barrack or police quarters, which is very, very important. It's one of the problems we have today.
Police must be up to the task of protecting life and property, and do so without compromising human rights and the sense of community that holds us together.
It's commencing to ensure the placement of an enabling law passed by the National Assembly to make an enduring and sustainable legislative support for the Nigeria's police force.
There were various suggestions for some clauses in the bill to be redrafted at the hearing. They include change of name from Nigeria Police Force to Nigeria Police Service, provision for single Deputy Inspector General of Police, and notice of intention to sue the Nigeria Police Force. From the National Assembly, Abdullahi Aminu, NTA News.
Now, the national coordinator of the APC Broom Platform, Dr. Tom Ohiekere, and stakeholders have told federal government projects in Nasarawa State, saying the people should reciprocate by voting again President Buhari in 2019 general election. Taisi Omeri, who joined on the tour, reports.
The APC Broom Platform is a media support group for the re-election of President Muhammadu Buhari. The group is in Nasarawa to ascertain the level of infrastructure development. This is to attest that there is the presence of the federal government here in Nasarawa State. And this is one of the project sites, the National Integrated Power Project.
We have presently embarked on a national media tour to expose the infrastructural project achievement of President Muhammadu Buhari and governors in areas of agriculture, health, power supply, transportation, education.
Cargo airport, township roads by the state government. The team appreciates the state government for bringing development to the doorsteps of the people.
Nasarawa State is among the 8 states where promises since we came on board has been fulfilled.
In Lafia, Tessie Omeri, NTA News.
Ahead of the official flag-off of campaign by the governing All Progressives Congress, some of its support groups have commenced mobilization of voters. I Stand with Buhari is among the latest to bring together APC interest groups from across the country to renew their support and fine-tune strategies that will enable them add value to the electoral process. The group is confident that their structure is endowed with the necessary resources to champion the cause of good governance and seek the re-election of APC at all levels.
And that's why the theme of this event is next level outreach, to reach out to other Buhari movement groups.
To let them know that next level means next level in agriculture, next level in education, next level in infrastructure, next level in everything good for we and our children.
I am proud that President Muhammad Buhari is my president because he's a man of integrity, a man that we have found out there is no corruption in his list. He's a man that have given our children hope and given us future.
Meanwhile, barely 72 hours after the purported endorsement of the PDP presidential candidate Atiku Abubakar as consensus candidate of the coalition of united political parties, the national leadership of the Grassroots Development Party of Nigeria and some political parties, as well as presidential candidates, have dissociated from the position.
The steering committee of the Coalition of United Political Parties, CUPP, had this Wednesday announced PDP presidential candidate Atiku Abubakar as the coalition's consensus candidate. Barely 3 days after, it appears the center can no longer hold, as some of the political parties are already backing out.
The CUPP did not appear to go by the provisions of the MOU, especially in the area where it was said 2 primaries will be held.
On field 45 or 46,
we do not believe in the ideology or the guiding philosophy of the CUPP.
So if 41 political parties, but forum are candidates that believe in this country and believe in the continuity of the good jobs that the present administration is doing.
Similarly, the Social Democratic Party SDP, in a statement on the CUPP endorsement of Atiku, enjoined all its members, especially its candidates, to carry on with their campaigns. In Abuja, Timothy Yusuf, NTA News.
Stakeholders in the electoral space of Niger State have made a commitment to abide by the laws governing the electoral process towards a violent-free 2019 general elections. This commitment was made during a stakeholder security meeting organized by the Niger State Police Command in Mina. Dauda Mohammed reports.
The arrival of the Niger State Commissioner of Police,
Ahead of the Christmas and New Year festivities, the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation, NNPC, says it has 55 days sufficiency of petrol. Chief Operations Officer downstream Henry Ikem Obi, who said this in Abuja, urged the general public not to resort to panic buying. Energy correspondent Lydia Sampson has the details.
Developments in the oil and gas sector following the 7 days ultimatum issued by marketers in the downstream sector of the industry over subsidy debt inherited from previous administrations has continued to evoke concern. The federal government, in a resolve to nip the issue in the bud, engaged the marketers and gave an assurance of payment of 236 billion naira first installment by Friday, the 14th December.
We'll continue to have 7 days a week, so there's absolutely no...
Ironically, and Petroleum Products Marketers Association
to support the government. There is a commitment from the NNPC and the majors and the unions to ensure that all their workers participate in distribution of petroleum products.
They are unanimous that with over 2.8 billion liters of petroleum sufficiency, as well as daily importation, there is no cause for alarm. In Abuja, Lydia Sampson, NTA News.
Ahead of the Christmas and New Year festivities, the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation, NNPC, says it has 55 days sufficiency of petrol. Chief Operations Officer downstream Henry Ikem Obi, who said this in Abuja, urged the general public not to resort to panic buying. Energy correspondent Lydia Sampson has the details.
Developments in the oil and gas sector following the 7 days ultimatum issued by marketers in the downstream sector of the industry over subsidy debt inherited from previous administrations has continued to evoke concern. The federal government, in a resolve to nip the issue in the bud, engaged the marketers and gave an assurance of payment of 236 billion naira first installment by Friday, the 14th December.
We will continue to load out 7 days a week. So there's absolutely no reason for anybody to panic. In terms of the supply position, we're very strong.
Ironically, Depot and Petroleum Products Marketers Association dissociated itself from the agreement signed with government. Some of the members, however, say they are not party to any action capable of inflicting hardship on Nigerians.
The timing is very wrong, and at this time we need to do something that we can help Nigeria, because Nigeria is bigger than all of us.
On our own part, we'll do all we can to support the government, because our interest is the masses.
Describing the action as an attempt at economic sabotage, the MDP-PMC Umar Abuja says everything possible will be done to avert the traditional end-of-year petroleum scarcity.
There is a commitment from the NNPC and the majors and the unions to ensure that all their workers participate in distribution of petroleum products.
They are unanimous that with over 2.8 billion litres of petroleum sufficiency, as well as daily importation, there is no cause for alarm. In Abuja, Lydia Sampson, NTA News.
Ahead of the Christmas and New Year festivities, the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation, NNPC, says it has 55 days sufficiency of petrol. Chief Operations Officer Downstream, Henry Ikem Obi, who said this in Abuja, urged the general public not to resort to panic buying. Energy correspondent Lydia Sampson has the details.
Developments in the oil and gas sector following the 7 days ultimatum issued by marketers in the downstream sector of the industry over subsidy debt inherited from previous administrations has continued to evoke concern. The federal government, in a resolve to nip the issue in the bud, engaged the marketers and gave an assurance of payment of 236 billion naira first installment by Friday, the 14th December.
We will continue to load out 7 days a week. So there's absolutely no reason for anybody to panic. In terms of the supply position, we're very strong.
Ironically, Depot and Petroleum Products Marketers Association dissociated itself from the agreement signed with government. Some of the members, however, say they are not party to any action capable of inflicting hardship on Nigerians.
The timing is very wrong, and at this time we need to do something that we can help Nigeria, because Nigeria is bigger than all of us.
On our own part, we'll do all we can to support the government, because our interest is the masses.
Describing the action as an attempt at economic sabotage, the MDP-PMC Umar Abuja says everything possible will be done to avert the traditional end-of-year petroleum scarcity.
There is a commitment from the NNPC and the majors and the unions to ensure that all their workers participate in distribution of petroleum products.
They are unanimous that with over 2.8 billion litres of petroleum sufficiency, as well as daily importation, there is no cause for alarm. In Abuja, Lydia Sampson, NTA News.
Ahead of the Christmas and New Year festivities, the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation, NNPC, says it has 55 days sufficiency of petrol. Chief Operations Officer Downstream, Henry Ikem Obi, who said this in Abuja, urged the general public not to resort to panic buying. Energy correspondent Lydia Sampson has the details.
Developments in the oil and gas sector following the 7 days ultimatum issued by marketers in the downstream sector of the industry over subsidy debt inherited from previous administrations has continued to evoke concern. The federal government, in a resolve to nip the issue in the bud, engaged the marketers and gave an assurance of payment of 236 billion naira first installment by Friday, the 14th December.
We will continue to load out 7 days a week. So there's absolutely no reason for anybody to panic. In terms of the supply position, we're very strong.
Ironically, Luckily, Depot and Petroleum Products Marketers Association dissociated itself from the agreement signed with government. Some of the members, however, say they are not party to any action capable of inflicting hardship on Nigerians.
The timing is very wrong, and at this time we need to do something that we can help Nigeria, because Nigeria is bigger than all of us.
On our own part, we'll do all we can to support the government, because our interest is the masses.
Describing the action as an attempt at economic sabotage, the MDP-PMC Umar Abuja says everything possible will be done to avert the traditional end-of-year petroleum scarcity.
There is a commitment from the NNPC and the majors and the unions to ensure that all their workers participate in distribution of petroleum products.
They are unanimous that with over 2.8 billion litres of petroleum sufficiency, as well as daily importation, there is no cause for alarm.
In Nigeria, nay, in Africa as a whole, I would imagine that you won't find an Oka man practicing his trade. So Oka people are known.
Since I started the work, from this work, I married a wife, I trained my children, and at least I'm feeling well, because this work just helped me to do whatever I want to do. So
today, other people are found in other walks of life.
We do woodwork, metal work, sustenance farming. We don't farm in a large scale like people do in the riverine areas, but we do sustenance farming.